Okay, so we're gonna start with the face. So I'm gonna prime our skin with the Vilk Hydro Primer. So this one's really good if you're an active lady. Your makeup tends to like come off throughout the day quite often. It's gonna really just help grip everything onto you. Forgot my brush. There we go. So I'm just gonna put this all over. This one's really nice because it's like a cooling jelly sensation too. So if it's super hot, like it is here all the time, then it'll work out really well. I'm just gonna apply this all over the face. So you can already kind of feel it's like tacky.
It feels cold.
Okay. Good. Let me just clean this off. Alright, so next we're going to go in with foundation. The Makeup Forever foundation is really nice because it's like a medium coverage. Not really luminous, but it has a nice natural finish, and it also lasts all day. So it's going to be something that's just going to make your skin look like skin, but better. It's not going to feel like you have a whole lot on. So I'm just going to buff this in a little brush, and I always like to kind of start from the center of the face and then sweep outward, and then once you kind of place it where you want it, just kind of stamp it on. That way, if you need any like extra coverage in certain spots or anything like that, or have something you want to cover, you can kind of just focus it there by like stamping it on. Okay. And it doesn't feel like anything really on the skin, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Okay, awesome. Because last thing you want whenever you're trying to do a full day's work is just feel a whole bunch of stuff on your skin. Put your upstairs. Perfect. So I'm just gonna do half the face right now, and then I'm gonna do the other half off camera. But this way also y'all can kind of see almost like a before and after in real time as well. Making sure there's no harsh lines. Once again, just clean off my little palette. I need to invest in a larger palette so I don't have to clean it off every 30 seconds. Okay. So next we're gonna go with concealer. I'm just gonna use the Too Faced Born This Way. This one's super great because it'll cover anything you need, but it's really lightweight, it's pretty hydrating, and it just feels really nice on the skin. If you don't want anything too heavy or dry underneath your eyes, then you're just gonna feel it like all day. And then my brush. Look at me. So I'm just gonna kind of apply it in the same shape that your under eye goes. So just kind of a little bit further down. You don't want to put it right underneath your eye and only there, because that's how you'll get that little raccoon eye look in pictures. You always want to take it a little bit further down. It also is going to just elongate the face and give you a nice, more like overall brightening effect. And it's the same thing. I prefer to just use a brush. I feel like it's a lot easier and it gives you a lot more coverage. Look up for me. Okay. And then same thing, I like to just really lightly sweep it, and then right under the under eye, it's good to take kind of like a smaller brush so that way you can kind of run it right along. Okay. That way you can get really up close if you have any like redness like right on your lash line. Sometimes it's really hard to get to. But this way you can get right in there. Okay. And then sometimes you also want to take it up because sometimes people get really dark just right in here. So you can just kind of sweep any of the excess up, and that'll kind of neutralize that area.
Right.
Okay. So next thing, I'm gonna go in with powder. I'm gonna use the, clean this off first, otherwise it's gonna end up all over my clothes. Okay, next I'm gonna use the Lancome Absolute powder. It's just a really nice luminous powder. So it'll really brighten up the under eyes. You can use it on the whole face. And I've noticed also, it doesn't claim it does, but I've noticed it also will help fill in any kind of pores. So it's kind of like a nice all-in-one product. So let me just clean out the lid. There's a lot more makeup in that lid than I thought there was. We're having technical. Okay. Did not find the trash can. Okay. Technical difficulties. Let me just clean my hands off. Okay, I'm just gonna clean up the lid. That way everything's all sanitized. Okay. Just gonna dump a little bit of this powder. You don't need a whole lot. And then it comes with a little puff. I promise this puff is... Okay, fine, we'll go on with the bigger puff. So you just, and it comes with the little small one that just broke, but okay. I promise that one's still a good one. You just need to take like a tiny little bit, kind of just like, a little bit like that, and then look up for me. We're just gonna kind of press it right underneath. This will keep your concealer on a lot longer. It'll keep it from getting creasy underneath your eyes.
I do have that problem.
Yeah, most of the time if you work a lot or like you're a really just on the go person or you're hot all day or something like that, it's gonna start to happen. And once it happens, it can, I feel like it can instantly make you and your makeup look like it's like 20 years older. So it's nice to just kind of keep this all smooth and at bay.
Okay.
And same thing, I like to bring it down a little bit because it's, like I said, it does smooth out your pores a tiny bit. And it also has kind of like a luminosity to it, like almost like, oh my gosh, what's it called? Like the pearls type, like crushed pearls in it.
Yeah.
So it's gonna just brighten up your skin. Go ahead and relax your face. I'm just gonna do it right here as well. Basically anywhere where you notice that your makeup kind of like will start to fall into any fine lines or pores or just creases that your makeup makes that you didn't even know about. I like to put this powder on top of it just so that that way you won't see that anymore, and it'll kind of keep it fresh a little bit longer so that that way, you know, you're not hour 2 in and then you're like, oh my gosh, everything's broken apart and falling. Okay.
That's what normally seems to happen.
Yeah, and it's usually just like little things, like little extra things that you have to do that'll really lock it in. Okay, so next I'm gonna just contour your cheeks. I'm gonna use like a little bronzer shade, but I really like this one for contouring. And then a brush like this is great if you're newer to like contouring or like trying to get used to the motion. Since it's the same shape as your cheekbone, you can literally just place it there and just let the brush do the work. So anywhere where you feel your cheekbone, right underneath, it's kind of like a little bit more of a hollow point, that's where you're gonna wanna put it. So you just need a tiny little bit and then just sweep it right in that hollow point. And you always wanna make sure that you don't take this too low because it can actually have the opposite effect. Instead of highlighting your cheekbones, it'll make your face look a lot more round. And then if you want, you can take a little bit on the forehead. You don't really need it because you have a quite petite forehead, but sometimes it's nice because it'll just give you more of like that summery sun-kissed type look. And that's literally all it is. It's super simple and easy. Next thing I want to do, I want to go in with a little bit of highlight. So this is going to be something that's just going to really like give you that extra pow of glow. And oh, this is the Anastasia Loose Highlighter in So Hollywood. This one's one of my favorites. But you can basically use it a light hand and give yourself like a nice natural glow. Or let's say you're like, we're going out, I want to have it seen from space. You can always kind of layer it a little bit more and add a little bit more to make it really pop. For you today, I'm just going to use a tiny bit so you can see what it could look like day to day. So where the bronzer was, where you said that you felt that bone, you're going to put it right there. So I always like to start further back and then just kind of sweep it around the brow and right on the temple around the top of your cheekbone. You don't want to take it too far down because you don't want when you're talking to people for them to be able to see it in the front. You want it to just kind of be where you turn and people are like, oh, pretty. Nothing too crazy. My baby hairs. Okay. Now I'm throwing things. Okay. And I'm just going to use a little bit of blush. So this is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit. This one's really nice because it also has setting powders in it. So if you wanted something that kind of has like a little bit of everything, this will work really well. And I'm just going to take the darker blush.
Yes.
I feel like that would suit your complexion a little bit better. And
I like that one.
I always like to just kind of put it on the apples of the cheeks and just kind of sweep it back. This way, it'll help blend your highlight and your contour together a little bit more, and it'll still give you that flush. You don't want to just focus it on the apples because then you're just going to have like the circles on your cheeks, and that's the last thing you want.
Right.
You want it to kind of look like you don't have anything on. You just got a nice little flush. And same thing, I'm going to also go in with the bronzer in this palette. So we already did the contour. This is just going to be something kind of to throw on so that you can get almost like I just came from the beach type sun kiss. It's not really going to add a whole lot, but it adds enough to where that way it's still noticeable. And so this, I would just like to use like a big brush and just kind of throw it on the cheeks. It also kind of diffuse any harsh lines from like doing the contour.
Okay.
Especially since this is all more like new steps to you. You don't want to do something too intense and then you go out and people are like, what's going on?
Right.
This way it'll soften it. It'll look more like you normally. Like people are going to be like, what's going on? But they're not going to be able to figure it out.
Right.
Okay. And then lastly, for the side of the face, I'm just going to spray you with a little bit of setting spray. So this is really just going to really, really lock everything in.
Okay.
This is going to lock everything in. Sorry, I forgot another brush. Let me just cut across. Going to really lock everything in and make sure that it's not going anywhere. I'm just going to make sure there's no excess powder underneath your eyes. And this one is the Makeup Revolution. It has hyaluronic acid, so whatever moisture's in your skin is just going to really lock it in so that the makeup isn't going to dry out your skin. It's going to keep it looking like it did when you first applied it all day.
Okay.
So close your eyes. Okay. And then my favorite part, oh, that didn't open as dramatically as I wanted it to. Okay, close your eyes. You kind of just want to fan it or kind of sit with your face still so that way it can set exactly the way it is. You don't want it to set with your face moved or anything and then it falls into something you don't want it to fall into. Okay, and so I'm going to do the other side of camera and we'll be right back.